Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and stay tuned by clicking the bell icon. 10 Incredibly Romantic Bridgerton Quotes. Bridgerton took Netflix by storm in 2020, and this show has been going strong ever since. Fans were captivated by Daphne and Simon's scintillating fake relationship to real love arc in Season 1, and Anthony and Kate's forbidden romance in Season 2 got them hooked. Bridgerton went a step further with Queen Charlotte, a Bridgerton story where the Queen's mysterious marriage with King George got a tender representation. Love, longing, and steamy romance are, without a doubt, the strength of the Chantalin show. Each season has a different and fascinating love story, and the dialogue is the foundation of the adoration and devotion on the show. Characters like Anthony, Simon, Daphne, and Kate have said some of the most romantic quotes of all time in Bridgerton. 10. You are the bane of my existence and the object of all my desires. Kate and Anthony's relationship became a forbidden one because he was betrothed to her sister, but that only made their dynamic even more tense and delicious. What began as hostility and enmity turned into a compelling love, and Anthony finally admitted how he felt about Kate in this quote. Kate's existence in his life made him realize what a massive mistake he made when he courted Edwina, yet his love for her was a pure and true one. Their attraction was a magnetic one, and they had to resist temptation all the time, but the chemistry was too much for them to handle. This was one of the most romantic Kate and Anthony moments on Bridgerton. 9. Edmund was the air that I breathed, and now there is no air. Bridgerton didn't just focus on the romances of the Bridgerton kids, but also on their parents. Lady Violet, their mother, had set a tender and loving example for her children with her husband Edmund, but she lost him too soon. Edmund and Violet were perfect for each other, and they were best friends before they were lovers. They were absolutely dedicated to each other, but their relationship was cut short by an unfortunate accident. Edmund got stung by a bee and died in minutes, which was made sadder by the fact that she was pregnant at the time. Violet felt like she had lost a part of herself when she lost him. 8. I burn for you. Daphne and Simon's romance was a slow burn one, not once but twice in Season 1 of Bridgerton. While they were fake courting each other, they had a hard time keeping their hands off of each other, which culminated in a passionate kiss in the gardens. However, Daphne and Simon's agreement for marriage turned into a transaction because Simon told Daphne he could not give her children. Even then, the chemistry between them was undeniable. As their honeymoon began, Daphne and Simon couldn't keep their hands off of each other, and Daphne declared to him rather passionately that her love for him was so strong that it was like a burning hot fire. 7. Do you love me? Queen Charlotte and King George's romance remained secretive for a long time, but Queen Charlotte, a Bridgerton story, shined a light on the deep and nuanced love that the monarchs shared. Charlotte was married to George without any knowledge of his mental health issues, but she remained devoted to him despite all of his issues. Their love was a tortured one, but Charlotte and George could transform it into something beautiful and long-lasting. Charlotte accepted everything about George and was ready to take on the weight of his illness, so long as their love never faded. This was why they were one of the best Bridgerton couples of all time. 6. Great love can make miracles. While Bridgerton usually depicted happy endings, some of the best relationships had the most bittersweet endings. Reynolds and Brimsley loved each other in the Regency era, a period when homosexuality wasn't accepted at all. They weren't allowed to be themselves and love freely, and they tried to make it work as much as they could. Reynolds and Brimsley were quite involved in George and Charlotte's romance, and they had a hand in making their marriage work on the romantic Netflix show. Reynolds' emphatic declaration that love could overcome anything was an emotional moment, and while it proved true for the monarchs, it didn't work out for Brimsley and Reynolds themselves. 5. To mean a beautiful woman is one thing. Simon Basset was usually very reserved, and it was hard to read his emotions, but his declaration of love for Daphne made his feelings clear. While they fooled the ton, Simon and Daphne found something even rarer than love: friendship. Daphne was able to penetrate Simon's walls and made him realize that life could be a lot lighter and more optimistic than he thought. Simon appreciated a beautiful woman, but it was Daphne's companionship and her beauty that captured his heart. He convinced everyone with his speech, but there was a lot of truth in it. His love for Daphne was a simple and beautiful one. 4. True love is something else entirely. While Kate was denying her own needs and desires to make Edwina happy, she knew what true love was. Kate had always tried to help her sister, and while ill-timed, Edwina, Kate, and Mary were in Edwina's haldi ceremony before her wedding. The advice mirrored how she felt about Anthony. Kate could see beyond titles and wealth. True companionship for her was about safety, trust, honesty, and loyalty. A soulful connection was more important to Kate than worldly traits. The fact that Anthony had those was only a bonus. 3. I've loved you at every dance, on every walk, every time we've been together. Anthony wasn't always a dedicated, loyal partner. The burden of familial responsibility pushed him into a life of flighty love and romance, but meeting Kate changed everything for him. She challenged him in every way possible from their first meeting, which was exactly what he needed. Kate Sharma made Anthony a better man, and he acknowledged his imperfections and traumas thanks to her. His desire to build a life with Kate was endearing, and he was willing to put in the work, the commitment, and the effort to be with her. 2. Every scar, every flaw, every imperfection, I love you. The depth of Daphne's affection for Simon came through when she said this quote in the Season 1 finale of Bridgerton. Simon had a dark past that made him guarded and ashamed, but Daphne only saw the light within him. Whether they could have children or not, all Daphne wanted was honesty from Simon. Daphne would accept everything about him so long as they were truthful with each other. Their love was an unconditional one, which was a rare find in the ton during the Regency era. 1. You find things to love, my dear, small things, and eventually, they add up to be enough. Few people would expect anything romantic from Portia Featherington, who was more focused on her survival and her daughter's marriages. However, the extent of how much she had given to her marriage as a woman became clear in her conversation with Marina. Most sacrifices were made by the ladies of the Ton when it came to their marriages, and Portia showed that she had a heart of gold with her husband. Love was never a consistent emotion, and it took effort to maintain. Finding and appreciating the little things about one's partner was enough to keep a relationship alive so long as one tried. If you liked the video, don't forget to like, comment, and share.